I did not wake up that morning feeling strong. I woke up feeling tired in my soul. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, the kind that sits quietly in your chest and whispers, "Just get through the day." I lay there for a moment, staring at the ceiling. The room was quiet, no voices, no footsteps, just the sound of my own breathing. I remember thinking, how did my life become this silent? Once, mornings used to mean laughter. They meant warm tea, moving chairs, soft greetings. Now, mornings only meant one thing: another day to survive. That was the morning I decided to pray differently, not loudly, not with long words, but honestly. I did not ask God for miracles. I asked Him for peace. Just enough peace to stand up, just enough hope to begin again. And as I sat there still wrapped in my blanket, I realized something important. Every day does not begin with happiness, but every day can begin with intention. That morning taught me something I will never forget, and today I want to share it with you. I am not a special person. I am not perfect. I have made mistakes I still regret. I have said words I wish I could take back. I'm a parent. I'm a human being. And like many people, I spent years putting everyone else first. I woke up early to take care of my family. I stayed up late, worrying about their futures. I smiled when I was hurting. I stayed quiet when I felt invisible. I thought that was love, and maybe it was. But somewhere along the way, I forgot how to take care of myself. Mornings became rushed. Prayers became short. My heart became heavy. I would sit at the kitchen table, holding my cup, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. Sometimes I would whisper, "God, are you still listening?" Life did not break me all at once. It happened slowly, through small disappointments, through unspoken pain, through silence. And yet, every morning, I still woke up. That alone was a blessing I did not notice at first. There were days I woke up already feeling behind. Behind in life, behind in happiness, behind in faith. I watched the sun rise through the window, and instead of feeling hope, I felt pressure. Pressure to be strong, pressure to smile, pressure to keep going. I prayed, but my prayers felt empty, not because God was far, but because my heart was tired. I would say, "Thank you for this day." But inside I was thinking, "Please don't let today hurt." I carried silent fears into each morning. Fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, fear of being forgotten. Sometimes I remembered the person I used to be, hopeful, trusting, excited for tomorrow. That person felt like a stranger now. One morning, I sat alone at the table, and a thought came to me, soft but clear. You cannot heal what you never bring to God. That thought stayed with me all day. The next morning, I did something different. I did not rush. I did not check my phone. I did not think about yesterday. I placed my feet on the floor. I closed my eyes, and I breathed. Then I spoke slowly. "God, I am tired." That was it. No fancy words, no long speech, just truth. And something changed, not around me, but inside me. I realized that God was not asking me to be strong. He was asking me to be honest. So I kept praying. "God, I feel lonely. God, I feel forgotten. God, I need you." Tears came quietly, not loud, not dramatic, just honest. That morning prayer became my turning point, not because my life changed, but because my heart opened. From that day on, I chose to start my mornings differently, not with fear, not with regret, but with surrender. Each morning, I told God the truth. Some days, the truth was heavy. Some days it was hopeful, but it was always real. I learned that peace does not come from perfect days. It comes from placing your heart in God's hands. Slowly, I felt lighter, not because problems disappeared, but because I was no longer carrying them alone. Mornings became sacred again, a quiet conversation between me and God. No rush, no pressure, just presence. If you are listening to this right now, and your heart feels heavy, I want you to know something. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are not failing because you feel lost. Every morning is a gift, even the quiet ones, even the painful ones. Start your day with honesty. Start your day with prayer. Start your day with hope. You do not need to be strong today. You only need to begin. God is already listening. He always has been. Take a deep breath. This day is still yours. Amen. The days after that prayer did not suddenly become easy. I want to say that everything changed overnight, but that would not be honest. What changed first was not my life. It was the way I entered each morning. I stopped waking up with my worries already shouting at me. Instead, I gave the morning a chance to speak first. Some mornings were still heavy. Some mornings felt empty. But now, I no longer felt alone in them. I would sit by the window as the light slowly entered the room. The sky was never the same color twice. Sometimes gray, sometimes soft gold. And I learned something important. God speaks softly. You hear him best when you slow down. I began to wake up 10 minutes earlier than usual. Not to do more, but to feel less rushed. I would place my hands on my knees and breathe, just breathe. In those moments, memories would come, some good, some painful. I remembered times I had been patient and times I had failed, times I had spoken with love and times I had stayed silent when I should have spoken. I used to judge myself for those memories. Now I simply brought them to God. God, here is my past, I whispered. I cannot change it, but I place it in your hands. That simple prayer lifted a weight I had carried for years. One morning reminded me of a mistake I had made long ago, a harsh word, a missed moment, a regret that still lived in my heart. My chest tightened, my eyes filled with tears. I said quietly, God, I still feel guilty. And in that silence, I understood something new. God was not keeping count the way I was. I had forgiven others many times, but I had never forgiven myself. That morning, I prayed differently. God, teach me how to forgive myself, the way you forgive me. I stayed still for a long time. No answer came in words, but peace came in waves. That was the morning I stopped punishing myself. Loneliness did not disappear. It still came quietly some mornings. I would hear the silence in the house, the empty chairs, the untouched cups. Loneliness used to scare me. Now I sat with it. I told God, today feels lonely. And instead of running from that feeling, I let it pass through me. Loneliness taught me something too. It showed me where I needed God the most. I learned that being alone does not mean being abandoned. Sometimes it means God is asking for a private conversation. My mornings became less about control and more about trust. I stopped planning every detail in my head. I stopped worrying before the day even began. Instead, I prayed, God, go ahead of me today. Walk into every room before I do. Speak where I remain silent. Guide where I am unsure. That prayer became my anchor. Some days still went wrong, but they no longer broke me. I carried calm with me, not loud joy, just steady peace. I used to think strength meant never breaking down, never crying, never admitting fear. Now I know better. Strength is waking up. Even when you feel empty, strength is praying. Even when you feel unsure, strength is choosing hope. When fear feels easier, each morning became a small victory, not because I won against life, but because I chose not to give up. If you are listening right now and your mornings feel heavy, please hear this. You do not need perfect words. Why? Oh, you do not need long prayers. Just bring your heart. Just bring your truth. God already knows what you are carrying. He is waiting for you to place it down. Tomorrow morning, try starting your day slowly. Sit, breathe, speak honestly. Peace will come, maybe not all at once, but enough to carry you forward. As the weeks passed, something gentle began to happen, not loudly, not in a way others could see, but inside me something settled. I stopped waking up with fear already sitting on my chest. I still had worries. I still had unanswered questions, but they no longer controlled the first moments of my day. I learned that mornings are powerful. They set the tone for the heart. They whisper to the soul before the world starts shouting. And I finally understood why God meets us in the quiet. There was one morning I remember clearly. The sky was cloudy. The air felt heavy. Normally I would have rushed through my prayer, just enough words to say I tried. But that morning I stayed still. I said nothing for a long time. At first the silence felt uncomfortable. My mind wanted to wander. My worries wanted attention. But then the silence softened. I realized I had been talking to God for years, but I had never truly listened. That morning, I did not ask for anything. I simply sat in His presence, and for the first time in a long while, I felt held. Healing is not a straight road. Just when you think you are fine, old pain returns. One morning a memory came back suddenly, a conversation that had ended badly, words that were never spoken. My heart tightened again. I whispered, "Why does this still hurt?" And I understood something important. Pain does not leave just because time passes. It leaves when it is acknowledged. So I brought that pain into my prayer. God, this still hurts. I don't understand it, but I trust you with it. That prayer did not erase the pain, but it took away its power. Letting go is not forgetting. It is choosing peace over control. I had spent years replaying moments in my mind, wishing I had acted differently, wishing others had treated me better. Those thoughts used to visit me every morning. Now, I stopped inviting them in. Each time regret appeared, I answered it with prayer. God, I release this moment. I choose peace. At first, it felt forced, but slowly, it became natural. Letting go became an act of faith. I used to think faith was about rules, about doing everything right. Now I know faith is about relationship, about showing up as you are. Some mornings, my prayer was strong. Some mornings it was weak, but God met me in both. Faith stopped feeling like pressure. It started feeling like rest, and rest is something my soul had been craving. One day, I noticed something surprising. I was smiling again. Not a big smile, just a soft one. I smiled while washing my cup. I smiled while opening the window. I smiled during prayer. Nothing special had happened. Life was still life, but peace had found a place to live inside me. That was when I knew healing had begun. If today feels heavy for you, please remember this. Healing does not rush. God does not hurry. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to heal slowly. Each morning you wake up, you are already doing enough. Sit with God. Breathe. Let Him hold what you cannot carry. There came a morning when I woke up and noticed something different. Not outside, but inside. The room was the same. The light came through the window the same way. The world had not changed overnight, but my heart had. I sat on the edge of the bed and waited for the usual heaviness, the tight feeling, the worry rushing in. It did not come. Instead, there was quiet. Not empty quiet, peaceful quiet. And for the first time in a long time, I understood what people meant when they said, God gives peace that cannot be explained. That morning, memories came again, but they felt different. They no longer attacked me. They simply passed by. I saw my past not as a list of failures, but as a long road I had survived. I saw myself trying, loving, enduring. I realized I had been too hard on myself. I had expected perfection from a human heart. I whispered, God, thank you for carrying me, even when I didn't notice. And gratitude filled the space where regret used to live. I finally understood something simple but powerful. The way we start our day teaches our heart how to feel. When I started my mornings with fear, fear stayed with me. When I started my mornings with surrender, peace followed. Morning prayer was not about changing God's plans. It was about changing my posture. Hands open, heart open, mind quiet. That small change reshaped everything. I used to think strength was loud, strong words, strong actions. Now I know real strength is gentle. It is choosing kindness when bitterness feels easier. It is choosing prayer when silence feels safer. It is choosing hope even when the future is unclear. My mornings taught me that strength does not shout. It whispers, and those whispers carried me forward. Now each morning begins the same way, not out of habit, but out of need. I say, God, thank you for this day. I give you my worries before they grow. I give you my fears before they speak. Walk with me, T, O day, and help me stay soft in a hard world. That prayer never fails me. If you are listening to this as your day begins, please hear this with your heart. You do not have to fix your life today. You do not have to understand everything. Just begin with God. Just begin with honesty. Even the quietest prayer is powerful. When it comes from a tired heart, as you step into this day, carry peace with you, not because everything is perfect, but because you are not alone. God walks beside you in your silence, in your questions, in your hope. Start your day gently. Start your day with prayer. Start your day believing that something good is still possible, and that is enough. Amen.